In the frozen wastelands of Vorx-9, under layers of glacial ice untouched for millennia, the artifact lay dormant, silent, inert, forgotten. Alien archaeologists from the Iller Dominion had discovered it a decade ago. Despite decades of scans, quantum probing, and nano-infiltration, it had yielded nothing. No power source, no signal, no movement. Just a relic, beautiful, ancient, and utterly dead dot to them. It was just another dead god's toy. But then, a human arrived. Lieutenant Commander Elena Voss stepped off the transport shuttle in a sleek black exosuit, the red crest of the Terran Union emblazoned on her shoulder. The Iller eyed her with the usual disdain, flesh too soft, bones too brittle, lifespan too short. But she ignored them. She wasn't here to impress. She was here because the Terran Union had been invited reluctantly to assist in deciphering the so-called Frozen Core. Their diplomats called it a gesture of goodwill. Their scientists called it a waste of time. But Vus. She had a feeling. The relic towered in the center of the excavation site, partially thawed, partially embedded. In the frozen crystal, a spiraling obelisk of black alloy, humming with a frequency no ear could hear. Its surface looked smooth, but when she touched it with her glove, her hand tingled like static from a memory too old to recall. Another failure, muttered Dr. Zathel the Iller, his mandibles twitching. Your kind will find it no. More responsive than ours? Voss didn't answer. She stepped closer, removed her glove dot and touched it. The effect was instant. The ice cracked. Light bright and blinding poured from the relic, cascading outward like a solar flare. The Iller scrambled, shield in their eyes, screeching in panic. But Voss stood still. UNMOVING. UNBURNT. In that moment, she wasn't on Vorx-9 anymore. She stood in a void of stars, suspended in endless night. Before her, the obelisk had opened, revealing a radiant core swirling energy, information, memory. Emotion. Human, a voice said, not with sound, but with meaning. You are the key. Back in the real world, instruments exploded into chaos. Iller technicians shouted over each other. Energy readings spiked into previously unrecorded spectra. The relic had activated for the first time in over a million years, but only when a human touched it. Only when she touched it. The days that followed changed everything. The relic was no simple artifact. It was a stellar seed, an ancient technology, from a civilization known only in myths, the Origin Makers, capable of terraforming planets, manipulating gravity, and even rewriting matter at the molecular level. The Iller tried to reclaim control, but it was too late. The relic had chosen her. Chosen humanity. It only responded to Voss's biosignature, her thoughts, her intent. You're telling me, said Admiral Solas in disbelief during a holo-conference with Terran High Command, that one human touch did what 50 alien empires couldn't do in 10,000 years? Voss simply nodded. It recognized us, she said, her voice steady, but her heart racing. Not just me, us. The Origin Makers had encoded their machines to recognize not intelligence, but potential creatures who not only think, but dream, who rise when beaten, who rebuild when shattered, who touch the stars not with reverence, but with hunger. And of all the species in the galaxy, only humans met that criteria. The relic became the center of interstellar attention and tension. The Iller, embarrassed and furious, demanded shared control. Other species called for arbitration, but the relic had already moved. Literally. It hovered now above the surface of Vorx-9, following Voss like a loyal sentinel. It generated an atmosphere around itself, reshaping the icy tomb into a green haven. Seeds grew in minutes. Rivers formed. Air warmed. A dead world? Reborn. The Galactic Council held an emergency summit. This level of power in the hands of humans is a threat, warned Supreme Envoy Trakenol. They are impulsive, unpredictable. Yes, replied Terran Ambassador Lee calmly, and we adapt. He leaned forward. You feared us since we arrived in the stars. Not because of what we are, but because of what we might become. Back on Vorx 9, Voss stood alone, watching the transformed valley. The relic floated nearby, gently humming. Awaiting her next command. She reached out to it again barehanded, unafraid. Visions filled her mind, galaxies shaped like spirals of glass, cities orbiting black holes, a library made of light, the potential for peace. The promise of power. The question it asked was simple. What will you do, human? She smiled. We'll try not to break too much, she said. But no promises. Epilogue years later, historians would call it the awakening. The moment when humanity stopped being the curious newcomers of the galaxy and became its stewards of lost wonders. The relic was just the beginning. More would follow, some broken, some buried, all waiting, and all tuned to the same impossible frequency, the rhythm of a fragile species with a will of iron and dreams as vast as the stars. All waiting for the touch of a human *******.